Hello and welcome to another tutorial. Today I'm going to go over part 2 of my MIUI theming series, and today is going to be more in-depth. It's going to be the longest video I have done so far. I'm going to show you how to decompile APK files and how to grab assets for your themes. I will do this only using free tools so that anybody can do this without having to pay anything. So let's begin. So the very first thing we need to do is grab the APK files we're going to decompile. Now there's a lot of methods to do this. I'm going to show you how to use command prompt on root and non-root devices. And I'm going to show you what I usually do, which is APK Extractor, which I think only works for root. But you can also download it from APK Mirror and some places like that, or just have the file downloaded from some other place where you just download the APK directly. It's kind of up to you, but I think that pulling it from my device works better for me. All commands will be in the description along with all the tools I use. We're going to open up command prompt. Make sure you have ADB and Fastboot devices already installed. We're going to type in ADB Shell and then PM list packages. It's going to show you all the packages on your phone. And then we're just going to PM path to whichever app we're going to pull. And it's going to tell us where the package is located in our device. So we're just going to put ADB pull and we're going to type in the address of the app we're trying to pull. As you can see, all our APKs are being pulled into the file we designated. Now I'm going to show you how to use APK Extractor. So you just go to the Play Store, install this app, then it shows you all the apps you have installed. We're going to go to the little three-dot menu and select System Apps. We're just going to select the ones we want to extract, and then they're going to be located in a folder in our device that we can just grab and put on our computer. And this is a lot easier to me than doing the whole command prompt, a lot faster. But if you can't do it this way, you can always do the command prompt, or there might be another tool to help you. And to make the next step easier, we're just going to go to that folder where all the extracted ones are. And we're going to go into each individual one and pull the APK into our Decompile folder on our computer. Now it's time for the decompiling. We're going to use a tool called APKTool. The link will be in the description. And this is going to use command prompt as well. You're going to right click on the wrapper script and we're going to save it to any directory you want. I'm going to save it to the directory with all the extracted APKs. And we're going to name that apktool.bat. Then we're going to download the APK tool, the latest one, and we're going to rename that to apktool.tar. After we get done renaming those, we're going to open up environment variables and we're going to add this to the system-wide command prompt. That way we don't have to be in a certain directory or anything like that. Open up command prompt and we're going to type in APKTool, then D for decompile, and then put the name of our APK. And there's a couple ways you can do this. You can do this like I do right here, and you can CD to the folder with all the decompile ones, and just type in the name of the app or the file. Or you can just drag in there after you put APKTool D, and then just drag the file in there. Whichever one you want to do. I thought I would speed this up by writing these all into Notepad and then batch doing it, so I don't have to sit there and do this every time it gets done. Another thing to note is that the settings one, for some reason, didn't want to decompile. So I had to use a tool that I paid for, which I think was like $5 USD. But there are probably some other tools that can decompile it for you that do not cost. And you can also just go to the file and unpack it via 7-zip, open the archive, and pull out or unzip, and you'll have a lot of the resources, except you will not have the values folders. That's the only difference between doing this and doing that. So sorry about that, but that's just how it has to be for now. When I find another one that can decompile it for you, I will share it in the description. But yeah, that's the only one that gave me any problems, but hopefully it won't give you any problems. And we'll go over value files in the next video because this is about redoing the assets, like the images and stuff. Now, if we go into the apps we just decompiled, you'll find all these assets, and these are pretty much the main things that we're going to be redoing. And mostly they're usually in the drawable-xx HTTPI one. But we're just going to go ahead and replace those with whichever one images we want. Try to keep it around the same size in most cases. But I usually just recolor it and do color lookup on Pixlr, which is a free online tool for imaging. And these in this right here are the MIUI 13 version ones that I was talking about. There's also more for MIUI 12 and lower, so you can go ahead and replace those two just in case someone uses it in a lower version. Now I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit on this because I'm going to copy over the images I already done and replaced in my other theme, reuse those assets, because it is a long process and I wanted to get this video out quickly. Some free places to get some stuff for your theme is I use Icons 8, which is royalty-free icons, and they have a lot of them on there. Then I also use Flaticon sometimes. And then for images, you can go to places like Pixabay and other places like that where there's this royalty-free stuff for you to use. You don't have to worry about copyright. Another tool that helped me, that can help you if you have more material type things that only have one color, something like that, is a website called Pinetools, and you can batch recolor everything on there. It doesn't work so well with dual, like you can change how much the effect is, but it just doesn't look quite right. So on those, you are better off just doing it manually. Yeah, that's about it for this. I'm going to speed through it and get to more stuff later on.
One eternity later.
Now I'm going to show you how to add dark mode to your theme. You just go into your different apps and you add a folder called night mode, and this will include the same things as the regular one does. So it'll have a res file, and then it'll have the XML files when we do those later. One thing to look out for though is to change some of the assets, because some of them are named light and some of them are named dark depending on the theme. So when it's in dark mode, we want to go ahead and rename those. And then if you find an image that has these little black bars around the side or something like that, maybe red ones at the very edges, make sure you do not recolor those. Keep those exactly how they are. You can recolor the actual image in there, but make sure the bars stay the same color. Otherwise, it will cause you some issues. And I just use a batch tool, like bulk rename utility, to rename the light part to dark. And next video, I'm going to show you how to do this in XML files, because there's another way to do it. But for now, I'm just going to show you how to do it by renaming. And that's about it for night mode. That's all you really have to do. So it's not really that difficult to add it to it. You just basically copy all the assets you made for light mode, and you just make sure you find the ones that are meant for light are meant for dark. And I like to keep the light ones in there just in case the light is for a different thing instead of just being light mode. Because sometimes the light stands for a different asset that works on both dark and light mode. So, but I'm just gonna replace the name on here, and that's about it. That's about all I'm gonna do. The icons for notification center We'll recolor those and the values XMLs later, so don't worry about those. Just keep those black. Just kind of replace them with whatever kind of design you want, because that's the main purpose of redoing them in the assets like this, like the image files. So we can edit all the other stuff in XML for those kind of things. Not everything will change that way, but those and some other ones you can only change in the XML file. Now with our assets in place, we're going to add it to the actual MTZ file. This is the one we exported in the first video. And we're just going to open that up with zzip and do open archive. This is the only way you can do it, because if you unzip it, it doesn't really play well when you rezip it. We're just going to open up these folders by clicking on them, and we're going to drag in the assets. I like to delete them if I deleted anything or something like that, so it doesn't add in there anyway. And you can notice some of these have the theme values in fallback. That's from the original video when we did the MIUI theme designer. I haven't changed anything in those yet, so we'll look at that next video. Now to add the apps that we decompiled that are not already in there, we're gonna just zip those up, and that's pretty much all they are the zip files without the .zip at the end. And I started out by zipping the main folder, but that's not the right way to do it. You have to go into it, since this adds another layer. So I just ended up deleting it and the inside and then re-pulling it in there. And then for the rest of them, I went into the actual folder and I zipped up the res and the XML files if there was any in there, and the night mode, of course. And this added it to a zip file named after the app package name, which is whatever it is, like com.android.incallui or something like that. You can look at these through that PM list package thing earlier that we did. Or you can look at it through APK Analyzer app, which is something I do a lot. Yeah, that's all it is to add those apps into the actual theme. I also changed the description, so the version is MIUI 13. However, I ended up changing this to MIUI 12 instead, because for some reason it works better on my phone. All it's left to do now is to get out of there, back up, go up to the higher folder just to make sure that everything saves correctly, and then we drag that MTZ file we made to our phone. And the way to import it is you just go into themes, you go to themes in the account settings, and then you just go to all the way to the bottom and click import. Now, some of you might not have this because I'm pretty sure this is a modification. So I will go over how to do add it to your device later on. Probably like one of the last videos I do for this series. So yeah, I'll just kind of show you what the theme looks like so far without any of the XML files changed, so you can kind of get an idea to what will change with these assets being changed. That concludes episode 2 of my MIUI theming series. I'd like to thank all of you for watching my videos. In the next video, I will show you how to edit values XML and also how to use theme fallback XMLs.